Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. So as many of you know who followed me for a long time, I have not always been an instructor. I started out obese, trying to find ways to lose weight. So I took classes, I ran, I did all types of different exercises until I found some things that really worked for me. And one of those things was taking group exercise classes. So I am here in an actual group exercise room to talk to you guys about 5 tips that you can use to get started when taking group exercise classes for the first time. Alright, so the first thing that you've got to do is choose a class. I know you guys have maybe seen the schedules or class schedules, and I'll put one up on the video so you guys can see. And if you take a look, you'll notice that some classes have logos on them and trademarks, and then other classes are just completely blank and just say the name of the class. The difference is that if the class is, for example, Les Mills Body Pump, you know it's going to be a structured class that when you leave and come back the next time, you're always going to take the class in that way, in that structure. The music may be different, the choreography may be different, but the class will always be pretty much the same. When you see a class that is just listed as, let's say, boot camp, and it says Kyle is teaching boot camp, for example, well, you know that you're going to expect to have a class that's going to be however long is listed on the schedule, and you kind of don't know much else from there. Maybe it's going to be high intensity, maybe it's going to be stations. So this is the type of class where the instructor creates all of the rules. Okay, so you would actually have to go to this class and take it with this person to see how they do it, because Kyle's boot camp may be different from Jennifer's boot camp. Okay. So once you've looked at all the classes and you're kind of like trying to figure out what everything is, another good tip is to actually watch those classes. Maybe you're at a gym where you can see the group room from the cardio machine, so maybe while you're on the elliptical or you're walking or you're running, you can just kind of take a peek and see what they're doing and see if maybe that's something that you would like to do or you'd be interested in doing. Now, if you're in a situation where you can't see the group room, Google the class. You can always Google it to find out. Again, if you're Googling something really kind of basic like boot camp, you can kind of get an idea, but you never know because it is based on the instructor. If you're Googling a class that has like a trademark, then you pretty much are going to know exactly what to expect in that class. Alright, so now that you've Googled the class, you've done all your research, the next step is to, of course, try the class. If you can get there early, then that's great. You can talk to the instructor, let the instructor know that you're new and you don't know what to expect, and they will give you help and solutions and answers and help you to set up your stuff. I know that's something that I do with my classes whenever I have someone new come in. Now, I know this one is tough, but stand in front of the class. I know that the number one thing that new people want to do is hide way in the back. But the best thing that you can do is to stand in the front, or if that makes you really uncomfortable, just stand close to the front, because it helps the instructor to be able to see you. And when the instructor can see you, they can easily correct you on your form. They can make eye contact with you and kind of let you know, like, yeah, you're doing good, or don't do that. You know, you need that type of connection with your instructor so that you can be sure that you're doing all of your moves correctly, and then so that you too can see the instructor clearly so that you can mimic the moves. If you stand way in the back and your class is so super full, it's going to be really hard for you to see the instructor, and you're going to be doing this kind of thing like, what did she do? You know, and that's going to make it even harder for you. I think a reason why a lot of people don't try group classes is that it kind of seems like everyone kind of has their stuff together. It looks like everyone's moving in unison, and it's like, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know what to expect. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is about respecting the regulars that are there. This is really important. A lot of regulars will kind of mark their territory by maybe setting up their bench or setting up their weights or throwing their gloves in a spot. So just know that if you see somebody's stuff set up, that means that that's their spot. So you can always set up next to them or even set up in front or behind them, but do not move their stuff to set up. And I've seen that happen to like a new person who maybe thought that I don't know, the stuff was old and then they moved it away and then the regular was upset. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another thing is when you are setting up, and if there is space in front of someone to set up, that's perfectly fine, but make sure that you stagger yourself, right? So if this were my setup, you wouldn't want to come and set up right here, right? You want to set up kind of off to the side because you want for me to be able to still see myself in the mirror. And that's what the mirrors are there for you to see yourself, for you to watch your form. And so you don't want to set up directly in front of someone and block their view. All right, so far you've researched the class, you've watched the class, you've tried the class, and the last thing to do is to try the class again. Just because your first time maybe felt awkward or it felt hard or you felt like you weren't keeping up or you weren't lifting enough weight or you weren't doing the moves right, it doesn't matter. It's not going to feel perfect the first time that you try it. The key is to come back and try again. It's going to take a while for you to get it, okay? And not all classes are for everybody. Maybe this class wasn't for you. Maybe you should try a different type of class, and that's okay too. But it's not okay when you only do it once. You've got to give yourself some time. I usually say come at least once a week for like 4 to 6 weeks before you just throw in a towel and say this isn't for me. So that's it, guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you have tried or will try out a group exercise class, and let me know what class it is. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!